My name's Daniel Sohn.
Hi, my name is Inyang Essein.
Hi there, my name is Jonathan Brunelli.
Hi, my name is Imauri Wilson.
And I play Brian Burns.
I played Kira Townsend.
I play Jace James.
And I played Elise Mayberry in our film Three of a Kind.
I think for our original story idea and vision, it was kind of more of a whodunit. We took a lot of inspiration from Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, Knives Out, that sort of thing. Maybe more Knives Out.
Those timeless films, there's a lot of really good visuals, and so it's really easy to draw inspiration from from the greats in the past and really adapt them into our film.
So our original idea was we kind of wanted to build upon our experience that we've done in the past, but not replicate it necessarily. And so we kind of wanted to stick with the theme of detective and like figuring stuff out like our first short film was.
There's not really much comedy to ours. I think ours was a very straightforward whodunit, but there was a little bit of comedy in the little hot tub scene that we had.
Well, originally it was me, Jonathan, and Daniel. We were sitting in class and we were thinking, at first we were like, oh, should we do like kind of like a spin-off, like a fantasy type of film? And then I think it was Jonathan's idea to like do the whodunit. And at first we were like really thinking about what type of characters will be in this film.
But just kind of add a whodunit aspect to it because we really kind of enjoyed those, and we want to keep the audience as involved as possible in our story. And since we had to make a longer short film, we wanted to make sure it wasn't just basically B-roll. Like there's actually stuff happening the entire time.
I remember we talked about like stereotypical characters who you least expect, like a jock, cheerleader.
Similar, like I said, to Agatha Christie, where it's kind of a remote location where people aren't easily accessible, especially the police or law enforcement. So these characters are almost left to their own devices.
And then we ended up just doing like me, the fashion designer, Inyang, she played the mayor, the governor, Daniel played the detective, and Jonathan played the nephew who was a little rebellious. So it all ended up coming together at the end.
That was kind of our original vision, if you will.
At first, we really were just brainstorming different ideas. Like I said before, at first it was like kind of up in the air. We weren't really sure where we'd go and how we'd take the story to the next level. And I just say Daniel really helped with bringing the story to life. Once we gave him like the gist of everything, he was able to put the script together and create this story. And also, originally, there was a knife involved. Someone was supposed to get stabbed and killed, but Daniel switched it up to it being a jacuzzi drowning type of scene. And I feel like that really helped a lot with the story, rather than just showing like a foot and a knife next to the foot. The jacuzzi scene really brought out the story more and helped the audience. It will help the audience be more like involved in the story and in the murder mystery of it all. So yeah.
I think a lot of what we did did some storyboarding. We did a lot of there was just a lot of interaction between group members. It was a lot of oh, this looks good. We did a lot of testing and a lot of kind of test shooting, just seeing what worked and what didn't work. Daniel was kind enough to basically line up everything we needed, which was kind of a list of the shots we needed, where they took place, and like the order of them. I forget what it's called, but it's basically the process of shooting everything in the same place that needs to be shot, even though it's not shooting in order. But I think our biggest vision came from how we decided to like create like an ensemble narrative, kind of just showing different perspectives, even though it kind of congeals into one big story, and it just helps further the plot.
We were really inspired by this genre of whodunit films, and because it's such a timeless genre, and we have a lot of examples and of former films that were created. I think it was really a really easy and
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you take anything from screenwriting to actual visuals, it's going to be a little bit different than what you expected, which is natural. So,
I want to talk about how we made sure we did not face a certain challenge. I think we were really proactive in planning ahead and making sure that we had enough time to plan for anything that might go wrong. So we scheduled a lot of our shooting far, far, far in advance of the timeline, of the deadline of when our film needed to be delivered. So I think that was really easy. It really simplified the process for us and helped us know, okay, we have the footage, and that's the easiest part, right? Getting the footage filmed ahead of time.
I'd say the biggest challenge was finding Daniel's house. No, I'm totally kidding. But I'd say the biggest challenge would be shooting itself. Shooting is the easiest part of the project, but that doesn't make it any less difficult. I think working with group members who are well equipped in their creative mindset and well equipped to create a interesting production is very helpful to the production process. But I think it's just difficult, kind of the repositioning, fixing the lighting, because it's not a quick process. It's not just the light's done, that sort of thing. It's like you have to reposition it and you have to make it look similar to maintain continuity, but also just to make sure that it's an interesting shot in general.
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenges during production was just a little bit of pacing, like making sure that the way the script was written and like to make it all interesting, we had to make sure it was paced correctly, and so actually filming that was sometimes difficult. Also lighting, there was several shots where we had windows involved, and so we had to figure out how to not overexpose the back and then mess up the skin tone, and everything else is just far as it's kind of difficult to, and we just figured that out on the go. Like I didn't even think about the windows coming into such a factor, but even we had a couple car scenes, and even the windows in the car scenes were overexposed at times, and so we had to just try to balance that out. And then speaking about cars, I mean, it's a lot more difficult to film in a car than we might have imagined. So we were all just kind of crammed in the back seat of a car and just trying to make it work with the audio devices and the camera devices. And so, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but I would say those were some challenges that we faced and definitely overcame, as you guys will see in the final product. So.
I'd say the biggest challenges, first of all, the glasses. We had 2 days of filming. The first day we knew all three of us, me, Inyang, and Jonathan, wear glasses. So there was a major glare in our glasses the first day. So we were like, nah, we have to take off our glasses, which it was very hard to remember to keep the glasses off. I know I forgot a lot of times, and then the second day of filming, his family was there, so we definitely had to work around that environment, and it all worked out, of course. So I'd say those were a couple challenges that we faced, but we got through them, of course.
I think we used a lot of different techniques in narrative storytelling. Daniel was kind of the script creator, and he basically really laid out a really beautiful story for us to kind of take from and make into the actual production. Of course, not everything that was written down on the page was exactly how we shot it. There were some things that were ad-libbed, there were some things that were added in just as ideas, but a lot of what we did was very experimental. I thought we did things that were new that we hadn't done before. We worked together in last semester, so it was kind of just seeing what looked good on camera, what we felt comfortable doing on set, and just kind of how it all worked together. I think one of the biggest visual storytelling aspects that we utilized was pretty much, I'd say the flashbacks was a big thing. I'd say the individual intros for the characters was a big thing, just kind of being able to get to know the character before they meet everybody else, because a lot of whodunit films, you meet everybody together and then you see like, oh, this is how the person acts in their regular life. For us, it was kind of like you get to meet the person before you actually are. They're all in a scene together, so you kind of get to make your judgments ahead of time, and then maybe have them change, maybe have them, kind of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest techniques that we use, especially like in screenwriting and then obviously in the final product, was just like the idea of flashbacks, which sometimes when you're videoing in like a non-linear order, it's kind of difficult to do that, but we wanted to have a lot of flashbacks to kind of carry the story along. And so, or not even just flashbacks, but also just like cuts to the action of what we're talking about. So like in the intro scene, I'm talking with my brother who plays the dealer, and every time I bring up a character, we cut to that character in the car, like on their way, to just show a little bit of their personality and just show like before they even get introduced, like they have an introduction basically. And I thought that was valuable because instead of us just sitting there talking like a YouTube video, we're actually like cutting to scenes. But yeah, and then also we have some flashbacks whenever I'm actually doing the detective work. Like obviously detectives go back in time whenever they look at something that already happened in the past. And so to visualize that, I think we use flashbacks, and hopefully we did it pretty well.
So for visual storytelling, I think we wanted to make sure there was continuity in all of the shots, and being really intentional about even just a potted plant and where it was placed on a table. So far as some of us had to walk around without glasses for a little bit, so we were really intentional about making sure that the film looks the way that it's supposed to look throughout the whole thing.
I'd say close-ups were very important for us during filming, because close-ups and pacing, of course, really creates suspense. And this is a murder mystery, so we're really trying to get the audience to feel what's going on and be like ingrained and engulfed in the film. So I'd say close-ups were important, and just angles as well. Angles to tell the story. During the poker scenes and everything, we needed a high up enough angle to get the whole table and get everything in the shot. So yeah.
Well, this experience really reinforced that communication is important. That's how you get everything done, just the team being on the same page, where everybody is at in the production process, as far as scheduling goes, and ideas and things like that. So once we have a central idea, we reach consensus in our thoughts and the way that we're moving, I think that makes for a more streamlined production, post-production, pre-production process.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Definitely teamwork, because I know it's hard to work with complete strangers. I mean, we're not complete strangers because we worked together last semester, but it's hard to work with people you aren't fully acquainted with, and we all just came together, got everything done. We're very structured people, so having that structure and people that are willing to put in the effort and make it all come together is really awesome. So
I would say I learned just the value of preparation and like just scheduling. I mean, we were very diligent to schedule when we were going to be able to shoot and when we were going to be able to edit and everything else like that. And so, yeah, just the value of those things coming together. And also just enjoying the story that you're making. I think we all like kind of agreed upon a script and agreed upon a story before we even created it. And because of that, we actually were able to enjoy making the film. If you're just filming something that you're not comfortable filming or like you don't like, you're gonna, first of all, you're gonna hate videoing it, but then second of all, you're gonna hate editing it because you have to watch it 100 times before it ever happens. yeah, make sure you are creating something that you're fine watching 100 times over before it becomes a real product. So.
As for what I learned or took away from this experience, I'd say that teamwork is very hard, but it is very fulfilling. Every single time that I am able to work with Daniel, Inyang, or Imauri, it is truly a experience I'm grateful for. I learned so much from them. I learned new techniques of how cameras or just shooting in general, as for Daniel for writing, just kind of just things that I would not be able to discover on my own. More just the interactive feature of creating film productions. You really can't go at it alone. You can try, but you'll create something that's like, I think being able to compromise is a huge thing as well. Like being able to create, but to realize, hey, you know, other people's ideas and everything, because it's like Daniel, Imauri, and Inyang, we were all very much like, hey, I have an idea, and we'd share it with people, and we'd get their feedback, or we'd be like, oh yeah, that's great. You know, it was never closed communication. It was always that we were able to have an open discussion, and that's very important. And I think just whether that is in digital production or other fields, that is one of the most important things in working with other people collaboratively.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.